Hello, I'm Charlotte Lynch, teacher of the deaf, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some equipment which can help deaf students to hear better in the classroom and to overcome the two of the biggest difficulties, which are listening from a distance and listening in noise. So the equipment that deaf students may have is, you might have heard the word microphone or radio aid or assistive listening device. And that consists of a transmitter, which is this bit here, and the microphone, which is on like a lapel microphone. So the transmitter, to switch it on, there's a little slide button at the top, and then you see it lights up the screen. This one has got a belt clip on it, so you clip it onto your belt, or you can clip it into a pocket. And you can, if you need to, you can put it on your lanyard, but I wouldn't recommend that. If you can try and get into the habit of thinking you need a belt, if you've got a deaf student in your class, a belt or some kind of pocket where you can clip it on if you're using that kind of equipment. The important bit is the microphone, because this is where the voice is going in. It needs to be not floating around somewhere that's not attached. It needs to be clipped on about 6 inches from the mouth, about pen distance, and that will give the best quality of sound that goes directly into the student's ears. The student will have little receivers which are connected to the hearing aids, and that picks up the sound and makes a connection. If you have a lanyard and not the belt clip, you will just put this around your neck and you adjust it by pulling it up at the top like that. And then when you want to take it off, you just pull it up so you can get it over your head easily. Okay, so this equipment, it improves listening for a deaf student by about over 50%. It makes a really, really big difference. But there are some students who are very self-conscious about this. They don't like the attention drawn to being any different, to being deaf. And it's a really, really big thing. So you need to be quite sensitive when the student gives you the equipment. Just put it on. You don't need to make any jokes about it or any comments. You don't need to say, oh, is it working? Can you hear me? Don't need to do any of that. Just put it on and carry on talking as if you weren't aware that the deaf student was there. Have a mind to check that the deaf student is following you without actually directly drawing attention to them. You might ask them to carry out some instruction in a very subtle way without them particularly feeling that you're drawing attention to them. The other thing you can do is if you're going outside of the classroom to have a private conversation with a colleague or with another student and you don't want the deaf student to hear, you can mute the microphone. There's a button at the top in the middle, and you just press that, and there's a little red line that goes across the screen which shows that you've muted it. And then when you come back into the classroom, remember to switch it back on again, so unmute it, and then the student will be able to tune back in. The deaf student doesn't need to hear your voice all the time, so just think about, does the deaf student need to hear me now? And then if you're going to work with another group of students, just mute it for a little bit so that they don't hear you, because they might need to then hear other people in their own group and not to hear your voice, which is then the overpowering one. The other thing that you can do with this is you can connect it to audio. So there's an audio lead, and that goes into the bottom of the transmitter, and then this can go directly into the audio socket or a headphone socket of a laptop. Now the problem with that is that then none of the other student will hear, only the deaf student will hear what's what's going on in your video. So you also need a splitter to go into the headphone socket of your laptop, and then you can put this audio lead into one end of the splitter, and then you put your speaker lead into the other end of the speaker. Okay, so if there is any other information we can help you with, please get in contact with your local teacher of the deaf, and we can offer training or any more troubleshooting that you might need, or any more advice. Thank you. Bye.